Guys, it's November in Arizona and it is hot. It is hot. The sun is like, I wore long sleeved, I should have worn short sleeved, and obviously I came where the sun is. Somewhere down in America somebody is cold, they already have snow. Not me, let me brag a little bit. So the next thing I want to okay, and one of the big no's about Americans is do not interact with their kids. Oh my god, do you know, like in my culture, when I see kids, it's like you grow up in my culture, my African culture, you grow up your neighbors being like a mom to you, like a dad to you. They could even discipline you. Oh my god, not here, not here, not here. People's children are people's children. So if you are to see someone's child, I don't care how much you love children, you do not approach people's kids here. You do not give them food. You do not touch them. You do not, without asking the parent. Don't give them food. Don't give them anything. Don't touch them. It is such a no-no. I think here, because they have a lot of creeps too, they have creepy people who kidnap children. So people are very sensitive here that maybe you're trying to be a creep. I know it's just ridiculous. I don't like that fact that you can't, like, you just have to play safe. Don't talk to, if you see a kid, instead of asking or talking to them and you feel like they need help, probably even call the police. Otherwise you might be accused. You know, you just never know, you'll be accused of, you try to kidnap a kid, or if you see them with a parent and they are coming towards you to play, it's just not okay. It's just not okay. Don't touch them. So as it's the same thing with their pets. Don't pet their pets without their permission. So don't talk to people's kids. Don't indulge with them without the parents' permission. Without the parents' permission. They're gonna say they don't know you. Why are you talking to my kids? You're gonna be offended. They'll think you're a creep. Just don't. It's a no-go zone for Americans. It is what it is. And on feeding them, you just never know if a child has allergies, or you could be accused that, you know, you gave a child something that they were allergic to, and they will sue you that the kid ate your food and they got sick, right? So you just got to be careful so on food, you just never know. If you give someone's child food and maybe they were allergic and they got sick, you are going to be liable for that. They will sue you. I tell you, oh my god, the stories that I read, they will sue you. If they get poisoned or if they get sick, they'll say you gave, it's because of your food, so you'll be liable. Another thing is, don't babysit American kids if you're not related or if you don't know them very well. Those kids you could be accused of abusing them, right? Maybe stories will come like, oh, they touched me in the wrong places. Oh my god, this country, you got to know somebody to interact with their kids in that kind of level. So for me, my policy is, if we didn't grow up together, if you didn't grow up together, if you're not my brother, my sister, you're not my cousin, or I haven't known you for a long time, I am not babysitting your kids. I'm not touching your kids, because you could be so accused and that's the end of you. That will be the end of you. So that's something to note. Wow, the next thing is a big pet peeve for Americans: keeping time. Guys, when an American tells you they're gonna meet you at 9 a.m., you better show up to the parking lot, whatever parking lot, at 8:45, so that you have 15 minutes to figure out and meet at 9 a.m. Time here is so important. If you meet somebody, if you come late, it is considered so rude. Oh my god, I had to learn this myself. I remember one of my first times going to the Sunday service, and they said the service was at 9. I think the first service was at 9 a.m. and the second service was at 11. Oh my God. Everybody is seated by 9. At 9, everybody's rising up and singing the first song. They keep time here like crazy. So if you don't keep time with an American, they will be so offended. It is so rude. And also it will affect your job. So if your job starts at 9, it means it starts at 9. If you're compulsively late, or not even compulsively late, if you're late like for 5 or 7 minutes, it's always documented because they have ways to. You're clocking in through your fingerprint, or you have a card, so they have a way to find out whether you got to work late or on time. And if you do, you'll get fired. Like they have, like, if you're late, maybe for most companies, like 5 to 7 minutes, maybe 3 times, they'll give you a warning, and then within time you'll get fired. So here, time is money. The literal meaning, time is money here, because they pay you per hour. And when you go to work, those 8 hours means you're working those 8 hours. They don't play with their time. They do not play with their time. So this culture here, I know some other cultures, maybe it's just not Africa. You just have to, like in Africa, we call this African time. You just have to like leave that at the port. You have to leave that at the port and learn to be on time. And if you're gonna be late, you have to call somebody and tell them you're running late, and you tell them exactly how long you're running late for, so that either they can reschedule, they tell you, oh, you know what, don't worry, let's reschedule this meeting, or or whatever. But time is such a big deal here. It's a sign of respect. If you show up on time, it's a sign of character. Like if you're showing up on time at work or even meeting somebody, it says much about your character, right? With us, man, it's not like that, right? In our culture, it's not like that. This is one thing that I wish our culture had. So I just wanted to add that. There is no way. I just wanted to add that about the American culture. Time is money, and time is time. Okay. So getting the American names right. Oh my God. Like pronouncing their names, you gotta have it right. If you don't, they are so offended. And if you're an American watching this, you're like, of course, a person's name is so important, you got to get it right. So Americans will get so offended, guys, so freaking offended, that you said their name, you mispronounced their name the wrong way. So they'll take time. They take time to ask you, how do you spell your name and how do you say it again, right? So they take time because it's offensive to them if you mispronounce their name. So for instance, if you're Kenyan, with the British or our vowels, A, E, I, O, U, we are so influenced by it. So if your name is Emmy and you're from Kenya, you probably are introducing yourself as Amy, right? So they'll ask you, oh, hi, how do you spell that? And then you go E-M-M-Y, they're like, oh, Emmy. So, right? Or if you're gonna say, my name is Mercy, that is the American way, the R pronounced very well, Mercy. If you're Kenyan, you're gonna say Masi, right? Masi. You probably are not hearing it. It's like you gotta, like, you're not hearing the difference. But if you're saying Masi, they're gonna ask, how do you spell that? And then you spell M-E-R-C-Y, and you're like, oh, mercy, right? And with them too, they don't know how to pronounce something. So it's everybody has a challenge, but for them, they are sensitive. Americans are sensitive about getting somebody's name correctly. Like on TV, you will see how they pronounce the name. I think in English, they don't have the way they pronounce Lupita's name. Lupita Nyong'o. It's supposed to be Nyong'o. Nyong'o. They don't know how to say. Americans don't know how to say that. So usually when they're talking about Lupita, you'll hear them saying Lupita Nyong'o. Lupita Nyong'o. So in good faith, I usually throw it in myself. I'm like, can you say Kipchirchir? And they'll say Kipchacha. You know, can you say Birgen? And they'll go Bergen, right? So in good faith, you can throw the challenge back if you're mispronouncing their names and they feel offended, right? So getting the American names right is important to them. I know it sounds petty, but we probably have petty things too. Every culture has something that they are sensitive about. But if you ever see an American, ask them, or if you're interacting with them, ask them how they spell their name and how they pronounce it, and they will appreciate it. They'll appreciate it because they too love to get it right. I came to the shed, guys. I came to the shed, so I took all this off. Okay, so let's go to the next. Oh my God, I swear to God, Americans have a third eye. I think they have an eye, like maybe at the back or something. Do you know the way? Just go Google an accident in Kenya, like an accident happens, and see the amount of people that gather together to stare at the car. I don't know. We're just a staring nation. But Americans, oh my God. Americans, they have a third eye. They don't stare. They look at you so strategically. Somebody in the store, like grocery store, they probably have looked at you and you didn't see them, that they already scanned you. They scan people, man. They scan people. You will be so surprised that in the end, that American that you just kind of like passed like this so quickly will tell you, oh, or if they are calling 911, they're gonna say, oh, I saw this in details. But it's not that they stared. They have like something, I tell you. So in America, just assume that somebody is watching you all the time. You might not see it. It's true that we have a lot of surveillance everywhere. Oh my God, that's one thing that they should also know. You have surveillance everywhere. Everywhere. Even probably this phone, they are monitoring me. I don't know. But that's one thing about Americans that I usually notice, that they don't stare, but they scan. I don't know how they are born. It's not, I'm still Kenyan, I stare. It's like me, it's like, ooh. So when you come here, you just have to improve on that. Like, you can't stare at people. They'll feel uncomfortable. If you just know, I don't know about other African countries, just know as a Kenyan, your default, if you see something that is surprising, shocking, different, something that you probably like, that you're going to, instead of, they have like such a soft way of looking that you're not gonna notice. Like I told you, I feel like they have a third eye. So in America, that's what you're gonna notice, that Americans, they do not stare, but it doesn't mean that they haven't looked. They have a third eye, so be careful. Alrighty.